Numbers 36. We did it. We're done with another book. What was this book about? Counting, maybe? We started with the census, which makes sense, but the last chapter had rules about the death penalty, so there's no rhyme or reason to any of this anymore. You might think we're at least gonna wrap up some loose ends, kill off Moses, but no, we're actually revisiting a story we talked about earlier. Remember in Numbers 27, the daughters of Zelophehad wanted their share of the inheritance because they had no brothers, so they felt that they deserved it. And then God told Moses that's fine, and it was a rare kind of endorsement of women's rights. Let's check back in with those sisters. The family heads of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, who were from the clans of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses and the leaders, the heads of the Israelite families. They said, "When the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes. Then their inheritance will be taken from our ancestral inheritance and added to that of the tribe they marry into. And so part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away. When the year of Jubilee for the Israelites comes, their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of our ancestors." These men are complaining to Moses and other Israelite leaders that their brother's stuff went to his daughters. And that's not fair, because if the daughters get married, their new families will own everything, and that could lead to the tribe losing the property. And as we all know, men get to keep everything. Always. It's just not fair that, this one time women might be allowed to keep some stuff and move away. So what's Moses gonna do about it? The correct answer would be to tell these men to shut the hell up because they don't get to control these adult women who are allowed to make their own decisions. That is not the answer Moses will give. Then, at the Lord's command, Moses gave this order to the Israelites. What the tribe of the descendants of Joseph is saying is right. This is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they please, as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another, for every Israelite shall keep the tribal inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter who inherits land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits. Wow. So keeping the inheritance within the family is more important than the autonomy of women within the tribe. They can get their share of an inheritance, sometimes, sure, if they don't have a brother around, but they can only keep it if they marry their own kind. Way to change the semi-progressive rules to make sure we're ultimately controlling women. Nothing more biblical than that. Gotta keep those women in a bubble. By the way, that first part said Moses gave this order at the Lord's command. But we never saw that conversation. Did they have a conversation? The Bible loves telling us about all their conversations, yet this time we're just kind of told to take their word for it. Moses talked to God. Trust us. That said, it seems like Moses is interpreting the law based on the circumstances, because taking the rules literally led to a consequence people were not expecting. I don't like his new interpretation of the law, but I think the Bible just denounced the kind of literal originalist thinking that conservative judges love. Take that, Federalist Society. So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zelophehad's daughters, Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. These are the commands and regulations the Lord gave through Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. They married their cousins to keep the inheritance within the family. Yikes. 5 women whose married names all became Giuliani. The last word in the book of Numbers is Jericho, which seems fitting because that's the first city the Israelites are going to try and take over after crossing the Jordan. But that's really the only part of this story that segues into the next. And by next, I mean the book of Joshua, because the actual next book, Deuteronomy, doesn't really pick up the storyline. It's all about Moses summing up everything we've learned so far. I'll be honest, I did not think we'd end one of the main books of the Bible with an endorsement of cousin marrying. But nothing about this series has gone as planned, so I guess it's good that I'm still being surprised. Where do we even go from here? There's no real cliffhanger. Moses is supposed to die, but we just gave up on that story. Oh well, let's just move on to the final book of the Torah.